Go to butcherbox.com/weighing in and you will get 2 pounds of ground meat for life with your membership and $10 off on your first box.
That's a good card.
That is a good card.
You know what's surprising me though, John, is that not that they're allowed to go there, but I'm surprised that one doesn't have enough pull over there to keep them out of there. You would think, right? Like that's kind of their home base. That's where they do all of their work. That's where their biggest draw is. I mean, I worked with them for a couple of years, and their biggest draw, I mean, they would do 14 to 15,000 people in the arena every single time they went to Singapore. At least every time I worked there, they did the show there. They would packed arenas, and I'm surprised that because when you let them come, it's almost like you don't know if those people are going to continue to come to another show. But the one thing the UFC's always done really well, and we have continued to say this, they never go to the same venue more than maybe once a year, if that. I mean, they do Vegas because Vegas is a hot spot. Basically, everyone wants to go to Vegas to party, and if there's a UFC there or they schedule it around a UFC, that's kind of how they do it. Outside of that, though, they very rarely go to the same location more than once a year. It's almost once every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
and they've done
Which
a great
is
job.
Smart.
Yeah.
It makes it special. It makes it to where the fans go, hey, I got to go this time because they're not going to be back for over a year.
Yeah.
So I want to go. And that's very smart marketing. Great job.
Yep. Nicely done by them. But I like I said, I'm very surprised because you would think that one would have that space locked down. But that might also be above. It might be a government thing, where they say this is what we do.
Don't think that, as we would say, dirty pool is not played all the time in these types of situations.
Yeah.
And we know of times that it's been played, but it's up to one if they, they can just look and go, hey, you know what, come here. We know it's going to cost you a lot of money to come here. Come here. What's it going to do? It's not going to do anything to our business. Maybe it will, but one puts on a great show. It's a different show, though. It's a different show overall than what the UFC's is.
Yeah.
Because yes, it does have MMA, but they also, they do the Thai boxing, they do the mixed matches, they do all kinds of different things as far as, like the mixed
grappling
match
matches,
with
all that
Demetrius, grappling matches. So, they have a different fan base in a lot of ways. Obviously some are the same, but it's competition. Competition's good.
I've always felt that
way. I
way.
look at it.
Yeah, I've always felt that way. I think it's better to. It makes it better, I think, for everyone to see what the difference is between the two promotions or whatever it is. But it also helps build different fan base. And if they liked one, who's to say they're not going to end up going to the next?
Yep.
If somebody likes one, maybe they'll go to the UFC. And if someone likes the UFC, maybe they'll start going to that other promotion to go to one or any other organization. So, no, I agree. But overall, it's a good card. It's a really good card. And then when Dave was saying, hey, they're going to Asia, Singapore is a very different atmosphere than majority of like other countries that are in Asia. It's just different. And so it does not surprise me whatsoever that they're going there, especially during this time, with what's going on over in that side of the world or near that side of the world, I should say. It's a very good card. You got Yuri versus Glover, which to me, it's going to be a really tough fight for Glover. I think it's going to be a decent, if Glover can kind of do what he did to Blachowicz, where he gets an early takedown and start to slow Yuri down a little bit. I think Glover is one of those fighters that from the top position, he really starts to fold people up. He really starts to make them work so hard in positions they're not used to. They end up expending more energy than they should, and they start to slow down, start to gas out, start not to have the same pop and explosiveness on the feet. And that's one thing that Glover has learned over the years of how to fight extremely smart in those type of situations. It's in terms of Shevchenko and Santos. I really did.
Come on.
We're at the same bit. You and I think the same way. Tell me I'm wrong. Am I over? Am I overlooking Santos? No. I mean, she's just on a different level than any 125 pounder in the world.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Look, right now, she sits at a level that I just don't see the other fighters in that weight class reaching right now. And all it takes is her to have an off night, Santos to have a good night, and it changes things up and it makes it to where it could be a great fight. I just look at right now with everybody that faces her, it's hard for you to go, yeah, this is going to be an even match.
Yeah,
it's not. Shevchenko's always the person that she's got the advantages in the fight.
Yeah, when they bring out, I'm interested to see what the odds are going to be, or if they've already been out, what the odds will be on this fight. I would say plus 900 and above. I mean, minus 900 and above. Minus 900 and above,
Yeah. And if when you're the UFC, this is a good problem and it's a bad problem. It really is. It's tough because you can have where people start to, there's people that want to watch Valentina fight. They just want to watch her. I'm one of them because she's so technically good and fun to watch. And then you're going to find some people say, I know she's going to win. I really don't care now. And it's a shame that, and I think Demetrius, when he was the flyweight champion there, people kind of got that way with him.
Yeah.
He's going to win. And it's like, how can you not watch him? And it's the same with her. How can you not watch her? She's that good. She's that talented, and you never know what she's going to come up with next and how she's going to pull something out. She's someone that in my opinion, if you miss her fight, you're a fool.
Yeah, you know what it is, John, is that these type of fighters, they need to become hills.
Yeah,
because then people want to see them lose, and that they tune in every single time to watch them lose. DJ was the same way. He couldn't become a heel. He was just too nice of a guy. Shevchenko's the same way. GSP was kind of the same way, but his matches, they were close. Some of them were close. Some of them, with the Matt Serra situation where he lost. But then after that, then some of his fights even after that were really close. He started wrestling a little bit more, started grinding people out. But his matches towards the end of his career, I wouldn't that lag in between the 3 years or whatever it was. But those matches at 170, they started to get close with Johnny Hendricks, with Lawler, or was Lawler? No, Johnny Hendricks.
Nope.
Those fights
Johnny
started
Hendricks,
to get closer.
Carlos Condit, Nick Diaz.
Yeah, the Carlos Condit one. Remember, he got dropped, I think, in the fourth.
Dropped with the head kick.
Yeah. So some of those fights started to get close. So people started tuning in more to see if he was going to lose. But it's hard because they're not heels. People don't tune in. Like with Mayweather, people tuned in all the time to watch him lose. They cared more about watching him lose or seeing if he'd get dropped or seeing if something bad they could talk about. That's why they tuned in to watch Mayweather. Not a lot of people were fans of Mayweather's. They thought he was super talented. Everyone thought he was really damn good, but he played the heel really well. I think a little bit of that's going on right now with Conor as well. So there's certain fighters that play the heel really well. They were really good and explosive and very talented. But with these two, with DJ and with Shevchenko, they're just not heels. They're good people. Like they're extremely nice. Yep. The fight that to me, I think is probably the most exciting to me on this fight, though, like you said, is the Whitaker and the Vettori fight.
I think it's a great matchup.
I think it's a great match.
Marvin Vettori is just a dog, man. He comes to fight. He's got a good gas tank. He's very similar in some ways to Whitaker in some areas. He can fight anywhere. Mm-hmm. He's strong. Whitaker's strong. I think Whitaker may be a little faster than Marvin, but it's a good matchup. And Marvin Vettori will fight anybody. That's one of the things I like about him. He just goes in there and, man, he puts it on the line, goes after his opponent, and how it comes out, where it falls, it does, but he's never going to back off of you.
Well, he proved that when he fought Paulo Costa, when Paulo Costa started changing the rules as they got closer to the fight, and all of a sudden didn't make weight, and he's like, look, I'll fight you at 205, and just started, that lets you know right there what kind of person he is, and not just in terms of a fighter, but just a personality himself. Like, no, I don't care, you're not going to run from me, I'm going to fight you at any weight that I need to fight you at, and that's what he did. So for me, him and Whitaker, this is going to be a great fight. The two of them together in that cage, I think that Whitaker's going to sprawl and brawl. I could see him potentially getting in the top position as well, maybe getting a takedown if he needed to. But I mean, I really look at him sprawling and brawling, keeping it on the feet. I think Vettori's going to keep it on the feet a little bit, but I think he will for sure try to threaten those takedowns a little bit more.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. That'll keep Whitaker honest with his hands and his feet, a little bit less kicking probably from him, but it'll keep his hands and his feet loyal to his defense and make it a little bit easier for Vettori to potentially land cleaner shots for himself.
Real question with this. I wonder if they're going to change the time in Singapore when they start the show, or if they're going to have it where it comes out here early in the morning.
Ooh, interesting. It's a pay-per-view. 2 title shots. Or 2 title. It should be a pay-per-view.
Yeah, if it's pay-per-view, then you know it's going to be altered there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would imagine they maybe would start at, say, at noon here.
No way. Not on a pay-per-view.
No, not on a pay-per-view? So you're saying
I don't
in the
think
evening. So. Interesting.
Yep.
Who knows? All right, but hey, overall, though, that's shaping up to be a good card. I won't see what the rest of the card would look like, but those 3 fights right there are definitely worth it. Yeah. You know, I'm a big Glover fan, and I like Whitaker and I like Vettori as well. Yuri is just fun to watch because he's just wild and crazy, you know, and Shevchenko is Shevchenko is just a master in the cage. Absolute master. Go to butcherbox.com/weighing in and get 2 pounds of ground beef free for life and $10 off your first box.